During the height of the coaster wars, amusement parks battled to build the tallest, fastest and most extreme roller coasters. Six Flags Great Adventure sought to claim the ultimate record with Kingda Ka, a ride that would shatter expectations and push the limits of engineering. When it opened in 2005, it wasn't just the tallest roller coaster in the world at 456 feet, it was a statement of power and ambition for the park. But while the coaster reached unimaginable heights, its reign wouldn't last forever. Located in Jackson, New Jersey, Six Flags Great Adventure is known for its thrilling roller coasters, expansive water park, and off-road safari. Its story began in the early 1970s with Warner Leroy, a businessman who envisioned a world-class amusement park and safari. His goal was to create a destination that blended thrilling rides, live entertainment, and exotic animals into a single massive complex. After years of planning and construction, Great Adventure officially opened to the public on July 1, 1974. The park debuted with a variety of attractions, including the giant wheel Ferris wheel, the Skyride gondola lift, and several classic flat rides. Guests could also experience the Runaway Mine Train, a family-friendly mine train coaster that remains in operation today. The park quickly grew in popularity, leading to expansions that included new rides and themed areas. In 1977, Six Flags acquired Great Adventure, bringing it into its growing chain of amusement parks. Under Six Flags ownership, the park invested heavily in roller coasters, embracing new ride technologies that pushed the limits of thrill ride design. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, Great Adventure had added several major coasters, solidifying its reputation within the industry. In 1978, the park introduced Lightning Loops, a pair of shuttle coasters featuring innovative interlocking vertical loops. This was followed in 1979 by Rolling Thunder, a racing wooden coaster that stood 96 feet tall and provided a classic out and back layout. Then, in 1984, Great Adventure unveiled Sarajevo Bobsled, a bobsled coaster set to simulate the winter sport. However, later that season, the park suffered a major setback when a fire broke out in the Haunted Castle attraction, resulting in tragedy and tarnishing the park's reputation. Attendance declined sharply in the years that followed, and by the late 1980s, Six Flags Great Adventure was struggling. There were even discussions about the park's potential closure. In an effort to reverse its fortunes, Six Flags announced a bold new investment for the 1989 season, the Great American Scream Machine. Standing at 173 feet tall, this massive steel looping coaster was the park's most ambitious project to date. It featured 7 inversions, including a trio of vertical loops and a double corkscrew. When it opened, it briefly held the record as the world's tallest roller coaster, drawing thrill seekers eager to experience its intense layout. The ride's popularity helped revitalise the park, proving that Great Adventure still had a future. But new rides were on the horizon, and its record as the world's tallest roller coaster wouldn't last for long. In May 1989, just months after the opening of the Great American Scream Machine at Six Flags Great Adventure, another record-breaking roller coaster was making waves across the country. At Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, Magnum XL200 shattered expectations, becoming the first full-circuit roller coaster to break the 200-foot barrier. Designed by Aerodynamics, Magnum reached a height of 205 feet and a top speed of 72 miles per hour, instantly earning widespread acclaim. It was taller, faster and steeper than any coaster before it, and its success sent a clear message. The race for bigger and better thrills had only just begun. The opening of Magnum XL200 ignited what would become known as the roller coaster wars, a period of rapid innovation and fierce competition amongst amusement parks. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, parks raced to push the limits, introducing record-breaking heights, faster speeds, and innovative ride technologies. This era saw the debut of groundbreaking designs, including the first inverted roller coaster, Batman the Ride, which Six Flags introduced at Great America in 1992. The coaster featured riders suspended below the track, navigating loops and corkscrews with nothing beneath their feet. Meanwhile, stand-up coasters such as Shockwave and Chang added new thrills by having riders experience inversions while standing upright. Launched coasters like Superman the Escape at Six Flags Magic Mountain took a different approach, using linear synchronous motors to launch riders to 100 miles per hour in a matter of seconds. As the public's appetite for record-breaking attractions grew, coaster manufacturers and theme parks responded with bigger and more daring creations. Six Flags, under the ownership of Premier Parks, aggressively expanded its brand, introducing 21 new roller coasters across its properties in 1999 alone. At Great Adventure, 3 major coasters were added. Medusa in 1999, the world's first floorless coaster. Nitro in 2001, a towering hypercoaster that reached speeds of 80 miles per hour. And Superman Ultimate Flight in 2003, a flying coaster that placed riders in a face-down position to simulate flight. But as Six Flags expanded, Cedar Point continued to raise the bar. In 2000, the Ohio Park debuted Millennium Force, the world's first roller coaster to surpass 300 feet, featuring an unprecedented first drop and reaching speeds of 93 miles per hour. Just 3 years later, they did it again, unveiling Top Thrill Dragster, a coaster that launched riders to an astonishing 420 feet at 120 miles per hour, cementing Cedar Point's dominance in the battle for the tallest and fastest coaster. Six Flags wasn't about to be left behind. As the new millennium progressed, the company sought to make a bold statement, one that would secure its place at the top of the industry. With record-breaking heights and speeds becoming the ultimate goal, Great Adventure was preparing to introduce a coaster that would redefine the limits of thrill rides. The time had come to build something bigger, faster, and more extreme than anything that had come before. The question wasn't whether they could compete, it was whether they could win the war. In late 2004, Six Flags Great Adventure made an announcement that would send shockwaves through the amusement park industry. The park was not only unveiling a new themed area, but also introducing the tallest and fastest roller coaster in the world. Named Kingda Ka, this record-breaking attraction would serve as the centrepiece of the Golden Kingdom, an 11-acre jungle-themed expansion designed to immerse guests in an exotic mythical world. The addition was touted as the largest expansion in the park's 31-year history, complete with new family attractions, entertainment, and animal exhibits. Even before the official announcement, speculation about a major coaster project had been brewing. Months prior, large steel supports began arriving at the park, resembling those used for Cedar Point's Top Thrill Dragster, which had claimed the height and speed records the year before. Daily shipments of coaster components, delivered in massive containers from Europe, filled the parking lot, leaving enthusiasts guessing about what was coming next. Construction began well before Six Flags publicly revealed their plans. The site selected for Kingda Ka was previously a parking lot. Over the summer, the area was cleared and materials began arriving in large quantities. Truckloads of wood for concrete forms and rebar hinted at the enormous scale of the new attraction. As summer came to an end, the construction site was a hive of activity, but details about the project remained tightly under wraps. The official announcement took place on September 29, 2004. At a special media event attended by coaster enthusiasts and press. Six Flags CEO Kieran Burke described Kingda Ka as a crucial step in transforming Six Flags Great Adventure from a regional theme park to a true destination. Renderings and details of Kingda Ka showcased an attraction that pushed the boundaries of coaster design. The coaster would launch riders from 0 to 128 miles per hour in just 3.5 seconds, hurling them straight up a staggering 456 feet, before plunging them down a 418-foot drop in a twisting spiral. The experience promised to be unlike anything thrill seekers had encountered before. Beyond Kingda Ka, the Golden Kingdom was shaping up to be a destination of its own. The area was designed to transport guests into a lush tropical environment, filled with winding pathways, temple ruins, and dense greenery. Balin's Jungle Land, a multi-level children's play structure, was set to provide adventure for younger visitors, while Temple of the Tiger promised an up-close look at Bengal tigers through educational exhibits. Promotional materials, including signs throughout the park and a preview centre, quickly spread the word, with season pass holders even invited to sign a piece of the track if they renew for 2005. As the 2004 season came to a close, work on the ride's foundations ramped up. By mid-October, the first massive support column sections were installed at the base of the tower. As the structure grew taller, its teal framework became increasingly visible throughout the park, dramatically changing its skyline. Over the winter months, crews worked at an impressive pace, racing to complete the towering structure before the harsh weather conditions set in. By Christmas, the upper portion of the tower was beginning to take shape, and by early January 2005, the highest track section had been installed. On January 13, 2005, Kingda Ka's tower was officially topped off, in a ceremony that saw a £9,000 steel beam lifted to the ride's pinnacle by a 50-storey crane. An American flag was attached to the beam to mark the milestone. With the structural work complete, attention shifted to installing the coaster's complex mechanical systems and completing the ride's 4 trains. As the park reopened for spring 2005, Kingda Ka still required finishing touches, both on the ride itself and the surrounding Golden Kingdom. Towering over every other attraction at Great Adventure, the coaster dominated the skyline and could be seen from miles away. Work continued on finalising the ride's launch system and installing the finishing details of the themed area, as well as preparing for the expected crowds. Originally scheduled to open on April 23rd, the ride's debut was pushed back due to extended testing and adjustments. Finally, after months of anticipation, Kingda Ka was ready. Testing was complete, the Golden Kingdom was prepared, and the ride stood poised for its grand debut. On May 19, 2005, Six Flags Great Adventure unveiled its most ambitious attraction yet. The park hosted a media event showcasing the record-breaking coaster before opening it to the public on May 21st. Guests had been eagerly anticipating the ride, dubbed the King of Coasters, drawn by the promise of an experience unlike anything in the world. Kingda Ka was nearly identical in layout to Cedar Point's Top Thrill dragster, being an Intamin accelerator coaster model, but added an extra element, an airtime hill that doubled as a magnetic brake run. With a hydraulic launch accelerating riders to a staggering 128 miles per hour in just 3.5 seconds, the coaster propelled its trains 456 feet into the sky. Kingda Ka shattered dragsters' records to become the tallest and fastest roller coaster on the planet. The reaction on opening day was a mix of praise and critique. Riders were blown away by the sheer intensity of the launch and the breathtaking views from the top. Many praised the extreme speed and height, calling it one of the most thrilling rides they had ever experienced. However, others found the ride's short duration underwhelming. Some riders also commented on the trains and restraints, noting they could be uncomfortable during the high-speed transitions. Despite some criticisms, the general consensus was that Kingda Ka delivered, ready to draw thrill-seekers from around the world. The experience of riding Kingda Ka began long before guests boarded the trains. The coaster was situated in the Golden Kingdom, an elaborately themed jungle area designed to immerse visitors in an exotic atmosphere of tigers and temples. The queue itself wound through lush landscaping and crossed under the launch track via a themed tunnel. From there, guests navigated a series of switchbacks. Supports and light fixtures in the area featured intricately carved poles, reflecting the jungle theme. The queue was designed to accommodate large crowds, with separate lines leading to the ride's two-sided station. In an effort to manage queues, Kingda Ka's station was built for efficiency, featuring 2 parallel tracks with switches at each end, allowing simultaneous loading and launching. The ride's 4 colour-coded trains, green, dark blue, teal and orange, each seated 18 riders in pairs. The restraints consisted of a thick lap bar with flexible over-the-shoulder straps. Once seated, riders were dispatched from the station and moved slowly onto the launch track, passing over the switch track designed for multi-train operation. A recorded announcement prepared them for what was to come. Arms down, head back, hold on. As the brakes retracted, the hydraulic launch system engaged, catapulting the train forward with an incredible force. The acceleration was instantaneous, pressing riders firmly in their seats as they rocketed toward the vertical tower. Reaching the 456-foot top hat, riders raced skyward. The train rolled 90 degrees to the right before briefly pausing at the peak, offering a breathtaking, if fleeting, view of the entire park. Then came the descent, a 418-foot drop, spiralling 270 degrees in a clockwise direction. The sensation was both a thrill and disorienting, as riders felt a moment of weightlessness before hurtling toward the ground. After the drop, the train ascended a second hill, standing at 129 feet, where riders experienced a brief yet pronounced moment of airtime. This hill also functioned as a magnetic brake run, smoothly decelerating the train before it completed a left-hand turn and rolled back into the station. Just 28 seconds after launch, the ride was over, but the experience left a lasting impression on those who dared to ride. Despite the excitement surrounding Kingda Ka's opening, the ride was plagued with operational issues from the very beginning. Even on opening day, technical difficulties caused delays, starting the reliability struggles that would define its early years. The ride's cutting-edge hydraulic launch system, still a relatively new technology at the time, required Six Flags Great Adventure to assemble a dedicated maintenance team to ensure its continued operation. Kingda Ka's most significant incident occurred on June 8, 2005. During a test run, a bolt inside the launch cable trough failed, causing the plastic liner to detach. This created friction between the launch cable and the trough, preventing the train from reaching its required speed. The friction generated sparks and sent shards of metal flying from beneath the train, forcing an immediate shutdown. The damage was extensive. The launch cable was frayed beyond repair and required a full replacement. The high stress on the brake fins led to additional damage, and Six Flags lacked an adequate supply of replacement fins. The park had to order more parts and conduct thorough testing before reopening the ride. As a result, Kingda Ka remained closed for nearly 2 months, finally reopening on August 4, 2005. Beyond the mechanical repairs, the incident prompted changes to the ride's queue. At the time of the malfunction, the queue had been routed directly beneath the launch track. Given the nature of the failure and the potential risk to guests, the park decided to permanently close this section of the queue. The overflow queue near the ride's entrance was expanded using ropes and temporary barriers, extending into the Golden Kingdom area to manage the crowd flow. This temporary queue setup ultimately became the ride's permanent queue configuration. Additionally, a dedicated viewing area adjacent to the launch track was also closed off. The original queue had been designed to accommodate large crowds, featuring misting fans for comfort and even concession stands along the path. However, due to safety concerns, it was never used again. Kingda Ka continued to face reliability problems into the following year. While the ride reopened as scheduled on April 1, 2006, ongoing maintenance issues forced another extended closure just weeks later. It remained closed for approximately 3 weeks before reopening. The complexity of Kingda Ka's hydraulic launch system required frequent adjustments, with the dedicated maintenance and management team overseeing its operation. Industry experts noted that downtime was common for prototype rides like Kingda Ka. Top Thrill Dragster, the ride's equivalent at Cedar Point, had faced similar reliability issues in its early years. Other high-speed launch coasters, such as Hypersonic XLC at King's Dominion and Superman the Escape at Six Flags Magic Mountain, had also struggled with mechanical issues during their initial seasons. While these rides often became more reliable over time, they were costly to maintain and operate. The debut of Kingda Ka marked the pinnacle and effectively the end of the so-called Coaster Wars. With Top Thrill Dragster and Kingda Ka, Cedar Fair and Six Flags had pushed the boundaries of roller coaster engineering, but both rides suffered from high maintenance costs and frequent downtime. By the mid-2000s, the industry began shifting away from record-breaking thrill rides and towards more reliable, high-capacity attractions. Parks started focusing on broader audience appeal, investing in family-friendly attractions, special events, and traditional coaster designs from manufacturers like B&M. Cedar Fair in particular moved away from working with Intamin, favouring alternative coaster models. Despite the wars being over, Kingda Ka would lose one of its records in 2010. Opening at Ferrari World in Abu Dhabi, Formula Rossa would launch riders to 149 miles per hour, far exceeding Kingda Ka's top speed. In 2014, Kingda Ka would be joined by a new record-breaking thrill ride, as Six Flags Great Adventure introduced Zoomanjaro Drop of Doom, mounted directly onto the massive structure of Kingda Ka itself. Standing at 415 feet, Zoomanjaro became the tallest drop tower in the world upon opening. The addition of Zoomanjaro was part of a larger transformation of the park. To make way for the ride, Six Flags made the difficult decision to remove Rolling Thunder, a classic wooden coaster that had operated since 1979. In August 2013, Rolling Thunder was permanently closed, and its removal allowed for the necessary modifications to Kingda Ka's structure and surrounding landscape to accommodate Zoomanjaro's towering drop system. The ride was officially unveiled as part of Six Flags Great Adventure's 40th anniversary celebration in 2014. Zoomanjaro featured 3 drop tracks, each carrying 8 riders to the top before releasing them in a freefall at speeds of up to 90 miles per hour. The ride experience was heightened by its placement on Kingda Ka, offering breathtaking views before riders plummeted back to the ground. However, its placement on the same tower as Kingda Ka created operational challenges that became a notable issue for the park. For safety reasons, Kingda Ka and Zoomanjaro could not operate simultaneously. Because of the risk of falling objects, the coaster's launches had to be temporarily paused whenever Zoomanjaro was in use. This significantly affected Kingda Ka's capacity, leading to longer wait times and operational delays. The park worked to manage these challenges, but the ride's impact on Kingda Ka's operations remained a point of discussion for parkgoers. Following the 2014 debut of Zoomanjaro Drop of Doom, Kingda Ka continued to captivate thrill seekers and rollercoaster enthusiasts from around the globe. Its towering 456-foot structure and exhilarating 128 miles per hour launch maintained its status as a must-ride attraction at Six Flags Great Adventure. Despite occasional maintenance challenges, the coaster's iconic status and record-breaking statistics ensured its place as a centrepiece of the park's offering. In late 2024, rumours began to circulate about the potential closure of Kingda Ka without any official word from the park regarding its future. The roller coaster operated the final day of the season on November 10th. Enthusiasts flocked to the park, eager to experience the legendary ride possibly for the last time. Then, on November 14th, Six Flags Great Adventure confirmed the permanent closure of Kingda Ka, stating it would be replaced with a multi-record-breaking launch coaster slated for a 2026 debut. Park announcements also confirmed the retirement of other attractions, such as the Green Lantern roller coaster, the Parachute Drop Ride, and Twister, as part of the park's expansion plans. Deconstruction efforts commenced in January 2025, with crews dismantling sections of the iconic structure. The final chapter for Kingda Ka concluded with a controlled implosion, spectacularly marking the end of an era for the world's tallest roller coaster. Reflecting on Kingda Ka's legacy, it's evident that Six Flags Great Adventure achieved its ambitious goal of breaking records and redefining the thrill ride experience. Through its nearly 2-decade tenure, Kingda Ka remained the tallest roller coaster on the planet, effectively winning the roller coaster wars of the early 21st century, a testament to the park's bold vision at the time. Its towering presence and unparalleled thrills have left an unforgettable mark on the world of amusement parks and the hearts of those who dared to ride.